If you're dipping your toe in the world of sharpening with Japanese waterstones, the complete sharpening kit is a great way to begin. It gives you a combination of 2 grits in a single stone, a way to keep them flat as you sharpen, and a way to protect your tools and knives after sharpening. So today I'm just going to run you through the basics of the complete sharpening kit and how to get the most out of it. The complete sharpening kit offers you a choice of grits. You can either choose a 1000-3000 combination waterstone or a 1000-6000 combination waterstone. I, in general, recommend the 1000-6000 to somebody who wants to just keep sharpening on a single stone with a minimum of fuss, give you a very nice polish on your edges and just takes a little more time to get there from a 1000 to a 6000. However, if you think that you might be into this sharpening thing for the long haul and you might be adding some finer grits above that, I think the 1000-3000 is a really good option and it gives you some space to play in the finer grits above it. Either will give you really good results. If you have not been sharpening your knives or tools regularly, then just touching them up on the 1000 and then something higher will give you a really big difference and a really big step up. So, having said that, I've got the 1000-6000 sitting in the sink. For best results, no matter which grit combination you go, you will need to soak your stone before use. I've been giving this about 10 minutes in the sink and it's ready to go now. Setting up the glass to flatten your waterstones is a couple of fairly simple steps and shouldn't be too hard for anyone to do. We have sized this glass very deliberately to allow you to get 3 separate sheets out of a full-sized piece of our adhesive back sandpaper. This adhesive back sandpaper is a standard sheet size. If you already have a flat surface and an abrasive, a larger sheet of glass and sandpaper that you can stick to it, you can then make your own flattening tool as well. So, the adhesive here the sandpaper needs to be pulled out of its packet. This kit ships with 180 grit and 320 grit sandpaper. Those are grits that we've found quite useful. They aren't necessarily our locked-in advice. If you have 240 grit, that will work. 400 grit will work. Anything sort of 180 and finer can be quite useful. So, what I would do is I would take my glass, line it up right on the edge of the sheet of sandpaper, take a little knife and cut it off. A few passes and we're good. So I have just cleaned up this piece of glass with some Windex. A nice clean surface will give you better adhesion and you want to make sure you don't have any grit or anything that's going to take us out of floating around on the glass. So we then need to take off our sticky back. Sticky back comes off and then laying down the sheet is just a matter of taking some time and care. So I want to line this up as close as possible to the end of the glass plate and I'll make sure that it is covering both sides of the glass plate as well. So once I'm fairly confident I've got that lined up, I'm going to make sure that it's extending to the end nicely. And I'm going to lay down the middle and then I'm going to push my pressure out to the edges and pressure out to the edges. So there I have my glass and my sandpaper as one. I've got a little bit to trim off the end. There we go. And I've got a little bit hanging over on this side and I might trim that off as well. The less that's hanging over the sides of the glass plate, the less vulnerable the plate will be. So with the 180 grit adhered to the plate, I can then choose to put some 320 on the back. However, I'll just run through a couple of tips on how to use it. So I've had my stone soaking. It's ready to go. I can place the stone in its base. I'm going to start, because of the first time I've used them, I'm going to flatten the finest stone first, which in this case is the 6000. It's nice and wet. I'm going to make sure that my sandpaper has a bit of water, and away I go. There we go. So I've got it slowly generated. I've removed the high spots on the stone. I'm going to wash them off. And I'm ready to start sharpening. Especially on its first use, the sandpaper sometimes lets a bit of grit go, so it's important to get rid of that before you start sharpening. On the other side of the stone, we have the 1000 grit. I'm going to make sure that that's nice and damp, and I'm going to flatten that off as well. There we go, and we have a flat 1000 grit waterstone. So flattening with adhesive sandpaper on glass does require a couple of compromises. One is that I can't take this glass and sandpaper and then dunk it and immerse it fully in a sink of water. The reason for that is that when water gets right under the adhesive can let go, and that will just lead to the sandpaper peeling off the glass. That's easily to fix because we can then stick another piece of sandpaper on, but for most life in the plate, I prefer to just wash it off over the sink like that. So this is one of the compromises of using the glass on sandpaper technique. If you think you might be sharpening for a long time, or you think you'll be doing a lot of it, then investing in a diamond plate as a flattening plate gives really good results and is a pretty compromise-free method of flattening. The main compromise in using a diamond plate instead of glass and sandpaper is an extra cost. So it's really important as well to note that the camellia oil does not make an appearance on, around, near, next to, above, below the waterstone. The camellia oil has nothing to do with the sharpening process. This is a water-based process only. The camellia oil is for application to your edges once you have sharpened. So once I've finished my chisel or my knife or my plane blade off, I can run a little bit of this on the bevel, on the exposed steel, and that will protect it from rust and degradation. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you enjoy your time with the complete sharpening kit, and I hope you enjoy your journey with sharpening. See you later.